Hello, Science Alliance! Hello, it's lesson 6, isn't it, of mycology. We're looking at how you classify the fungi. There's a few different ways of classifying fungi. There's the scientific way with all the kingdoms and the classes and the orders, and that's the way that I decided to teach you. And the end of this lesson is me going, ugh, that wasn't a very good way of doing it. But anyway, we're just going to proper nerd out this lesson. Yeah, well, and I've brought in a few different bits from a few different places. So we're going back to the very, very start of the very first lesson. Because you remember we talked about bacteria and like life on Earth. So we'll do that. And then I've stolen a little bit from a lesson that we did ages ago about how to classify animals. And then we'll get on to the fungi. All right. So we'll just go back to the very first lesson for a little recap. Here we go. I've sort of shortened it a bit, but you remember. You remember, don't you, that about 3.7 billion years ago, living things appeared on Earth, and they looked a bit like this. Just a blob of stuff with, this is the important bit, the DNA just sloshing around all loose inside. You know the DNA, like the proteins in your body that are like the instruction manual that sort of says what your body is like. Well, this blob of fluid had it as well, but it was all sloshing around, do you remember? And these kinds of things were the only life on Earth for over a billion years, just these tiny little things. So they were 1 cell big, they had this slishy sloshy DNA, they were too small to see, yeah? And we put these earliest living things into 2 groups, the archaea and the bacteria. We will talk about a bit about bacteria when we talk about lichens, so this is all fitting in. And archaea and bacteria, we found out in the first lesson, still exist. Do you remember where they are? They're in your body, they're in your guts. They help you to digest your food. In fact, there's yeast in there as well, isn't it? We've learned throughout the course of this lesson. I've put adorable teamwork. Thank you, little gut pets. Obviously, there's not just single-celled living things on Earth now. Not everything has the DNA all loosey-goosey like that. We've got these cells that have their DNA wrapped up very neatly in a membrane called a nucleus. Yeah? And I left this slide in because I just love this. We don't know how some living things ended up with their DNA all wrapped up in a nice little membrane called the nucleus. But it might be that maybe a big archaea or bacteria swallowed a small one, but the small one didn't die, and they just sort of coexisted together and then gradually evolved, and the small one just became the nucleus. Just life in it. Anyway, living things that have their DNA wrapped up in a nucleus are called eukaryotes. You are a eukaryote. No offense. So now we've got these 3 categories, right? The archaea and the bacteria and the eukarya. And these categories are called domains. So everything is either in the archaea or the bacteria or the eukarya domain. And the domains are split into kingdoms. We have seen this before. So, for example, the eukarya kingdom, which is the one we're going to focus on. Although, like I say, we'll talk a bit about bacteria. You split the eukarya, the things that have got their DNA in a nucleus, into the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom and the fungus kingdom. There is another one, but it's a bit sad we're not going to talk about it. And the kingdoms are split into phyla. Like all the plants are split into different groups called phyla, and all the phylas are split into different categories called classes and classes. So we're going to talk about that now, which is what I've stolen a little bit from the classifying lesson that we did ages ago. So, you've got the animal kingdom. The animal kingdom is split up into phylum, or one phyla. Is the chordata phylum, which is sort of generally speaking all animals that have a backbone, right? And then all the animals that have a backbone, you split those up into different classes. For example, the class mammals are all the animals with backbones that have also got fur, can give milk to their babies, that sort of thing. And then all the mammals get split up into different orders. So, for example, one of the orders is mammals that eat other animals. They're called the carnivores. And then all the carnivores get split up into different families. For example, can you tell what animal we're getting to? For example, the family Felidae are all the carnivores that have got muscly bodies and curved. Wow, it's been like 4 years and I still haven't corrected that. That's supposed to say claws. And then all the animals in the Felidae family get split into different genuses. For example, Panthera are all the Felidae animals that can roar. And finally, all the animals that can roar get split up into different categories called species. And the species here, one of the species is a lion, which is an animal in the Panthera genus that has a mane. Whew. Right, and then you don't split lions up. A lion is just a lion. So species is as far as you can go. Okay, so for example, if you've got a house cat, a house cat is in the animal kingdom. It's got a backbone. It does have fur. It can give milk to its baby, so it is in the class mammal. It definitely does eat other animals, so it's in the order Carnivora. It does have a muscly body and curved claws, so it's in the Felidae family, but it can't roar, can it? So that's as far as a house cat could go on this particular thread of the tree, because it's in a different genus. It's actually in the genus Felis. This is all the animals that have got the muscly body and the curved claws, but short jaws, tufty little ears. Okay, you do something then, because you can tell I've got a sore throat, and I've done a lot of talking. So here's that again. What I want you to do, please, is put these animals on this little list here as low down this system of classification as they can go. So for example, if one of the animals was a sheep is an animal, it does have a backbone, and it's got fur, so it's a mammal. But a sheep doesn't eat other animals, so it's not in the order Carnivora. So you'd have to stick that in class mammal, and then sheep would go off somewhere else to be in a different order. You see what I mean? So just match one of these up per category. Like one's in the kingdom, one's in a phylum, and one of them doesn't fit anywhere. All right. So you've got lion, seal, snail, cheetah, tiger, plant, and fish. And number 2, I think I've finally done this. It's taken a long time. I want you to try and think of a sentence or just some sort of system. Think of a way that you can remember the order of these things. Because I found it impossibly hard for years, and I finally, just in the last couple of lessons, worked out how I can think of it. How you can remember that it goes kingdom, and then phylum, and then class, and then order, and then family, and then genus, and then species. How you can remember. If you've finished, you can always like and subscribe. Or if you go over to my Facebook page, as usual, when I'm live on YouTube. If you're watching on catch-up, then sorry, that doesn't apply to you, does it? But if you're watching live, there's a post now on my Facebook page saying, leave me a comment and I'll read it out at the end. If you've got any questions. If you want to shout at me, because, I don't know, I've said mushroom and I mean yeast, you know. Or if I'm writing backwards again. How are you getting on? We go through it? Have you worked out whether cheetahs can roar or not? Let's have a look. So I did this in absolutely no order, so it's going to be a surprise for me as well. Snails. Snails are animals, but snails do not have backbones, so they're not in the phylum Chordata. So putting them in the animal kingdom was as far as you could go with snail. What else? Oh, tigers can roar, but they don't have manes. So tigers are in the genus Panthera, but they can't be species lion, can they? Because the lion is there. So let's put the lion there, right at the bottom, because it has a mane. Cheetahs They do have muscly bodies and curved cores, but they can't roar. Fascinating fact. So I think the animals that can roar are technically the big cats. So a cheetah, it's a big cat, but it's not a big cat. Plants, no, you can't even put plants in the animal kingdom, can you? Because they're in the plant kingdom. And I should have made it a specific plant, shouldn't I? I should have said like cactus or something. Anyway, fish. A seal is a carnivore. It does eat other animals, but bless it, it doesn't have a muscly body. So that's in the order Carnivora. And fish, they do have backbones. Yeah, what I suddenly realised, because I can never remember the order of this, despite being a secondary science teacher, but I suddenly realised that I do know kingdom and phylum. I just know that. And I know genus and species. I just know that too. So I'm remembering that it's kingdom, phylum, and then a cough in the middle. Class, order, family. And that's totally nailed it for me, because I do often cough in the middle of my sentences. But they were coming up with some excellent ways on Facebook yesterday. Lots of interesting sentences to remember that order. Might get you a mark at GCSE at some point. Right, should we press on and start talking about fungus? So at first, scientists put fungi into different groups depending on what they looked like. But this didn't work very well, because gills have evolved on mushrooms a lot of different times in a lot of different places, right? So a lot of this categorizing is supposed to help you understand which things are related to which things. And in the olden days, all they could do was look really carefully at fungi and put them in different categories. So they tended to lump all the gilled mushrooms together. But yeah, that's not how it works. Like, it's evolutionarily, it's useful for mushrooms to have gills. So a mushroom might have evolved gills over here, and a completely unrelated mushroom on the other side of the planet might have evolved gills somewhere else. So that didn't necessarily mean that they were related to each other. So there's loads of different phylum, but we'll look at the two big main ones. This is where we're going to get really, really deep and nerdy into why these phyla have their names. Here we go. So there is the Ascomycota phylum, which is all the sac fungi. I'll talk about what that means in a sec. And there's also Mycology, the biology words, people, which means the club fungi. So let's look at Ascomycota first of all and talk about why that phylum is called Ascomycota. It's known as the sac fungi because their spores are enclosed by a sac-like cell called the ascus. All right, it'll make sense. I hope so. Anyway, here's a picture. This is sort of a complicated picture showing how the ascus forms. But what I really need you to know is that there's this little sac. It doesn't really look like a sac, does it? It looks like a finger. But anyway, this is the ascus, this long finger type thing, which is holding the spores. It's holding 8 spores. They're called ascospores because they're in the ascus. We can just call them spores, all right? And this ascus, this long finger sac type thing with the little spores inside, the ascospores, that is often kept in an ascocarp. And most ascocarps are cup shakes. Okay, you've had all the words now, but that was a lot of words. So we've got an ascus, which is a little sac-like cell that sort of looks a bit like a finger. And it's got these 8 little spores in it, the ascospores. And those asci, lots of ascuses, get sort of woven together. You can see with some hyphae, which we've talked about before, and quite often they end up forming this cup-like shaped thing. And that is an ascocarp. Is that all right? It's a lot of biology into that. I've done it again. I'm just going to say this in a couple of different ways, and then I'm going to test you. I know, you lucky things. So we've got the phylum. The category is called Ascomycota, and the category is called Ascomycota because these types of fungi have got this ascus with the little ascospores, and they often form an ascocarp, which looks like a cup. Have you got that? Yeah? Have I said asco enough? Let's see if you've got that. Here's a beautiful thing that I found on the internet. It was one of those situations where I found this really close-up picture and it was all labelled, and I thought, wow, I actually understand some of that, and I wouldn't have done 20 minutes ago. So see how you get on. Here is a real close-up of a bit of a fungus, the Peziza fungus that we'll talk about later. And it's labelled A, at the bottom, B, C at the top, and then D. So you've got some words down here: ascus, ascocarp, ascospore, and ascomycota. I want you to fill in the gaps. There's 3 gaps. So this is a close-up of the something of a Pezisa fungus. A is the ascocarp mycelium. B is the hymeneal layer. But C, I think you might know. Let's have a little close-up on C. All right, so C is pointing to a kind of long finger with lots of dots in it. And D is pointing to one of the dots. It's like an oval, and it's got a little tiny dot inside it. All right. So do you know, can you put into those spaces the words ascus, ascocarp, ascospore, and ascomycota, and which word doesn't fit anywhere, and what does it mean? This is the scale down here as well, look. So we're living in a world where that line is 0.1 millimeters long, and then you would be seeing that. Think you've done it? Doesn't matter if you haven't done it, has it? I'm going to go through the answers. So a little close up there on C again, that long finger, and D, the sort of there's like 8 little rugby balls with dots in a row, and D is pointing to one of the little rugby ball dots. And what is it a close up of? Let's have a look. So it's a close-up of, this is the one that probably most people got wrong on Facebook. It's a close-up of the ascocarp. So this is a bit of the little cup type thing. And what is the cup made of? It's made of lots of asci. So C is one ascus, the long finger type thing. And inside the ascus are little ascospores. So that was D. And the word that you're left with is ascomycota, which is the name of the group of any fungi that have got an ascus. They are in the category Ascomycota. Phew! Right, should we move on? Should we actually look at some pictures of cool mushrooms? Yes, I know. So, here is a scarlet elf cup. It's very rare in the UK. Get excited if you see a scarlet elf cup. The actual cup here is the ascocarp. So if you could look closely, you'd see lots of little asci all mixed up with the mycelium around here. Apparently, a lot of these cup fungus, if you blow on them, then you can see the spores coming out. But this scarlet elf cup, if you blow on it, you can not only see them, you can hear the spores puff out as well. Oh, how much do I want to find a scarlet elf cup? So it grows on dead wood. It's in the phylum Ascomycota, obviously, because it's got an ascocarp. It's in the class, it's in the order Pezisalis, which I just showed you. We'll talk about that later. Here's another one. So excited when I found out about this one. This is Pythia vulgaris, which is found on pine trees. It's thought to be extinct in the UK, but because it lives on pine trees, sometimes if someone's ordered a Christmas tree from abroad, which you really shouldn't do, right? You should keep it local because it's better for the environment. But if you're ever in, I don't know, somewhere terrible like B&Q, they've probably got their Christmas trees in if you're watching live because it's end of October. They might have some Christmas trees from abroad. Keep a lookout for it. These gorgeous little orange cups, which used to be in the UK, but not anymore, but maybe sneaking back in. And they're also in the order Pezisalis. More about that later. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, I've just found out about a whole new category of fungi. I'm so excited about this. So this is, what you're looking at is horse poo. But you notice it's got all these little white flecks on it. This is a kind of nail fungus. So this nail fungus is called Peronia punctata, and it's found on horse dung. You can't really see from this picture, but it's about the shape and size of a nail. Like it's got a sort of flat top and then a very thin stipe, which is why it's called nail fungus. Delighted to discover nail fungus. Look at it. It's so cute. So these little black dots apparently are the ascocarps, right? Made up of the asci, which the ascospores come out of. I didn't really get that until I found this beautiful series of illustrations. How old do you reckon that picture is? That is from a book that was published in the 1790s. So I've put, it's interesting that sometimes still drawings are better than pictures when it comes to helping you understand things, because I totally get it now. Look, you can kind of see these little cups that they look like dots, but they're actually little black cups sort of embedded into the nail fungi. So those are the ascocarps. So pretty. Anyway, here's a very, very similar species. So this is the asci. You see, this is an actual photo. Oh, what a wonderful time to be alive. So there's the ascospores lined up in the asci. Yeah, so it's found on horse dung. So question for you. Do you think the amount of Peronia punctata nail fungus in the UK has gone up, gone down, or stayed the same in the last 100 years? I'm just going to go and grab a glass of water, because my voice isn't going to last this lesson, right? Oh, that's better. What do you reckon? A fungus that lives on horse dung. Has its population increased or decreased or stayed the same in the last 100 years? It's gone down, hasn't it? Yes. So you might be thinking because we use horses less, and we do. I'm from a farming family, and my grandpa was using a horse to plough a field in his lifetime, and then he bought a tractor, because I'm not like a million years old. But yes, we do generally have less horses in the UK now than we did 100 years ago. Also, though, sad times. Well, I suppose maybe it's not sad for the horses, but the chemicals used to worm horses have killed a lot of that nail fungus off. So you'll be very lucky to find it. If you live near the New Forest, get out there. Don't touch it, obviously, but if you see any of your beautiful ponies' wild horse dung, have a look at that, because you might find some there. And there's an incredibly similar type of fungus, but I think it's little black dots of a slightly different size, which is found on rabbit dung as well in the east of England. So it's good news for anyone who lives in the east of England. Get studying your rabbit dung. This is just out of interest, because I found the picture and I thought it was bloody gorgeous. Look at that. This is a different kind of nail fungus found in Australia, because everything on Australia is more interesting. Look at that. It's just so it looks like, I would absolutely swear that someone had made a beautiful metal statue of some fungus, but no, that is actually a living thing. Whoa. Right, we'd better move on, haven't we? Let's talk about lichens. If you brought some lichen with you, you might have cottoned on to what I'm going to talk about. So well over 90% of lichens, well, what are lichens first of all? Lichen, which is this stuff that grows on trees, which is sort of a bit like moss, but not. It's not one type of living thing. It's actually at least two living things working together. It's a fungus, it's always a fungus working with something that photosynthesizes, which means something that can make its own food. Because obviously the fungus can't make its own food. So quite often algae, which is a type of plant, right? Because plants use energy from the sun to make their food. But there are also types of bacteria that make their own food using the energy from the sun. So it could be a fungus and an algae, or it could be a fungus and a bacteria, or it could be all three. You could have three different kingdoms all working together on one little stick. Amazing. But well over 90% of lichen are in the phylum Ascomycota. So what are we looking for, right? They must have some asci. So maybe they've got ascocarps. There's different kinds of lichen. Some of them sort of just look like little leaves of lettuce. We'll do a whole Lego show on lichen. But anyway, come down here through my hand lens. Let's have a look at this. See what you see. Whoa! Isn't that so beautiful? Look at those cups. What can you tell me about those cups? Yeah, that's right. Ascocarps in it. We've got loads of ascocarps because lichen is in the phylum Ascomycota. So it's got these gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it's so lovely. Oh, I could just look at that all day. So the fungus in lichen is what gives it its structure. It's very much in control of what the lichen looks like. So it is the fungus part of this lichen team, which is making these absolutely, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. So we have to move on, but mercy me, that is cool. All right, I need to get a microscope, don't I? I think that would be a good investment for me. Anyway, right, we better push on. This bit's for people who like to correct things on things that don't matter. If you've heard of morel mushrooms, turns out it's not a mushroom. I know. It's loads of ascocarps all fused together. Totally obvious now, isn't it? Makes perfect sense. I feel like such a fool for calling that thing a mushroom. Right, let's move on. So that's Ascomycota, thoroughly covered. The other, so that's I don't know, it changes all the time, but very, very roughly, that's about, well, one excellent website I read said that Ascomycota made up about 75% of the fungus kingdom, and Basidiomycota made up about 40%. So if you do the math, that tells you how this stuff is always changing. But the other big phylum we'll look at is Basidiomycota. We don't need to spend as much time on this because you actually know about Basidiomycota already. All the mushrooms with gills are in this phylum somewhere, and they've all got basidiums. Do you remember this? If you don't, it's fine. Maybe you didn't come to that lesson, but we have done a lesson already where we looked at, in the gills of mushrooms, there's these tiny little things. This is called a basidium or basidia, and they've got little spores attached, and then the spores pop off. It was a good lesson. We looked at how the spores pop off, and then the mushroom can reproduce. But yeah, all the mushrooms in the phylum Basidiomycota have basidia. I know, it's all come together, right? And that's why they're called the club fungi, because apparently basidia looks like a club. I don't know. I'm not with science on that one, but no one asked me. So Ascomycota and Basidiomycota share a common ancestor. We might look at this more next week when we look at dinosaurs and fungi. So you can call them all actually Dicaria. There's like a group above those two phylum because they're very closely related. So there's loads of classes in Basidiomycota, like 16 or 20, and then over 50 different orders. We're just going to have a look at a couple that come up a lot that we've looked at already. So there's the order Agaricalis, and there's the order Boletalis. Agaricalis used to just be all the mushrooms with gills, but of course now it's more complicated because we look at how they're genetically related, and Boletalis was actually created to describe the boletes, but yeah, now it's more complicated. But anyway, let's have a quick dig in. So in the order Agaricalis, there is the genus Amanita, and we've talked a lot about Amanita, so I thought let's just look at what they are. Any mushroom in the Amanita genus is mushroom shaped, sort of like an umbrella. It's usually got a universal veil and a partial veil. They've all got a white spore print. They've all got gills that don't touch the stipe. So they've got free gills like this, although sometimes it's very difficult to tell that they're not touching the stipe. Amanita mushrooms are nearly always found under trees, working alongside trees. Some are deadly and some are edible. Sorry, that helps, doesn't it? So yeah, you remember we've looked at loads of Amanita mushrooms, but we didn't really talk about the genus. When you see the Latin name of anything, the first word is always the genus actually, and then the second word is the species. So you know from Caesar's mushroom being called Amanita caesarea that it's in the Amanita genus. So here's Amanita caesarea. We talked about that before. Eaten by the Romans, found along Roman roads, still to this day, and in forests here it is coming out of its universal veil. It's so cute, forming that gorgeous little volva on the bottom. We looked at Amanita pantherina, incredibly poisonous. We looked at Amanita frostiata, found in North America, might be poisonous, and of course, the fly agaric, which we haven't mentioned at all yet, is actually, its proper name is Amanita muscaria, the bright red one with the beautiful white warts on it, which is also poisonous. And Amanita verosa, the destroying angel, which is deadly poisonous, but, fascinating. So yeah, there's another genus called Amanita. Sorry, that was Amanita. And wait, was that? Yeah, that was the genus Amanita. Now we're going to quickly talk about the genus Agaricus, because this is the one that you find in the supermarkets. Here we go. So Agaricus mushrooms are mushroom shaped. usually have a universal veil and a partial veil. The big thing about agaricus is all of them have a chocolate coloured spore print. So if you ever find loads of mushrooms together, look at the small ones and the big ones, because agaricus mushrooms, they often start with pale gills, but then the bigger ones have chocolate coloured gills. Again, they've all got this free gills that don't touch the stipe, technically, although sometimes it's quite hard to tell. And most of them have got a ring from where the partial veil has been. All right then, you remember the ring? So the partial veil is the bit that covers the gills while the mushroom is growing. And then when the mushroom gets bigger, it sort of pops off and becomes this ring. And the stipe and the cap separate very easily. It's very easy to sort of snap the stem off. They never grow on wood, and they often form fairy circles. Okay, here is all that information for you. Have a go. You've got 4 mushrooms here that you quite often find in the supermarket. Which of these do you reckon are in the genus Agaricus? Which are in the genus Agaricus? Obviously, you're not going to be able to tell if they're growing in a fairy circle or if they're growing on wood, but they've all got a chocolate-coloured spore print, have Agaricus mushrooms. They've all got gills that don't touch the stipe. They're all mushroom-shaped. What do you reckon? Button mushrooms, white mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, crimini mushrooms. Which one of those are Agaricus? And since we're on YouTube, I will add the sentence, the answer might surprise you. There you go. Now anyone who's going to switch off can't possibly switch off. Have you decided? Do you want a quick tour of the mushrooms? So we're looking for chocolate-coloured spore prints and gills that don't touch the stipe, and maybe a ring from where the partial veil has been, but some of these you can't tell because they're in the supermarket. So there's your button mushroom, your white mushroom. Can't tell, can you? Because it's got a partial veil still covering the gills. Portobello mushroom there. Got a little anulis, see the ring? The answer is... they're all in the genus Agaricus, and not only that, chums, they're all the same species. I know, how diddled do I feel? They're all Agaricus bisporus. Do you remember when we did our spore prints in a really early lesson? I did a spore print of a white mushroom from the supermarket. And I got this lovely chocolate-coloured spore print, didn't I? Yeah, and we were looking at how their basidiums only have the bisporus, means like 2 spores, so they've only got 2 spores on the basidium and not the usual 4. Yeah, they're all the same species. I mean, actually, technically, it's a bit weird. The portobello and the crimini are a slightly different strain, apparently. So all the same species, but the portobello and the crimini apparently taste a little bit more interesting because they're a different strain. But yeah, they are technically the same species. Portobello mushrooms and crimini mushrooms, exactly the same, except the portobello mushroom is older. Right? I know, I want my money back. Okay, nearly there. Let's quickly talk about the order Boletalis then before we go. All the bolete mushrooms are in this genus, which we have talked about before. We've talked about how boletes have pores instead of gills. Don't they? I think they might be my favourite mushroom because it's so easy to spot. It's so exciting to see a mushroom with pores and not gills. It's so weird. So here's a collection of bolete mushrooms in the genus Boletalis. You sort of get a vibe for them, don't you? I mean, they all look different, but I feel like all these ones, when you see this kind of, it looks, I mean, obviously don't eat them, but it sort of looks like a kind of, like a muffin, right? Or a pancake. It looks kind of bready, this very distinctive, soft, velvety cap here. So these are all boletes, right? Get a little vibe for what they look like. Are you ready? What's that? Is that blowing your mind? It's like a pigeon with the head of a duck. I'm like, what is it? It looks like a bolete, but it's got gills. Yeah, chums, that is called a gilled bolete. I know, this is why science is just super annoying. So all the boletes are in the genus Boletalis, but there's also quite a lot of gilled mushrooms now in Boletalis as well. It got a little bit more complicated. So there are quite a few different gilled mushrooms in the genus Boletalis. Here are some that you might find in the UK, because I'm in the UK, so sorry, I'm a bit biased. They grow near the stumps of conifer trees or on wood chips. Again, do not eat them, but they look great, don't they? They look like those American pancakes that you get in the shops. But yeah, and they've got gills. And if you're thinking, oh, Lara, I remember when we looked at the difference between the golden chanterelle and the false chanterelle, and you told me that the false chanterelle had a cap that was all velvety, and they look really, really similar. How are you going to tell the difference between those two mushrooms? The false chanterelle and this gilled bolete? Well, you don't have to, because they're the same. I know, yeah, the false chanterelle, which I sort of was feeling a bit bad about, because it's a fake chanterelle. No, it's a gilled baguette. Baguette. That's 3 times now I've called it a baguette. A gill. It's because it looks like bread. A gilled bolete. Keep a lookout. Although don't eat it. So the end of my tale is this kind of classifying is just not very useful for identifying mushrooms. Like, for me, it's very interesting to nerd out over the science and look at how scientists have put the mushrooms into different categories. But if you're walking through the woods, you can't really like look at a mushroom and go, oh, it must be in this genus. I'll give you an example. I'll show you just before we go. So do you remember right at the beginning, we looked at these gorgeous cup fungi, the scarlet elf cup, and I showed you that what phylum and class and order and family it was in. Did you notice that the next one that I showed you was in exactly the same phylum and class and order and family? So I thought, oh, brilliant. I wonder what they've got in common. I'll look up what they've got in common. You know, like all the animals in Carnivora all eat other animals. So I'll have a look and see like what the order Pezzalis means, because that'll be interesting. So I looked it up, and this is what this is what Wikipedia told me. Pezzalis are an order within the phylum Ascomycota. We know that, right? Description, here we go. So what makes something in the order Pezzalis? Members of this order are characterised by asci. Yeah, we know what they are, those little fingers with the ascospores in, that typically open by rupturing to form a terminal or a centric lid or a and then my brain went to mush. I'm like, well, I'm not going to be in the woods. Like, oh, I'll just check and see if one of the asci ruptures too, blah, 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 blah. So it's all very useful for mycology experts. But this is why, if you are out in the woods and you want to look at mushrooms, you usually hear people talking about like bracket fungi that grow on trees, or the puffballs, because there's just a more useful way of talking about it. So for example, here's some puffballs, right? They're called the puffball mushrooms because they all puff their spores into the air. These ones are actually called wolf's fart puffballs. This is a common puffball here in the middle. These are earth balls here. So these are all, we call them puffballs. They're like in the category puffballs, but puffball isn't a scientific term, because actually 2 of these puffballs are in the order, not odor, the order Agaricalis, and the earth balls are in the order Boletalis. So yeah, if you like science and you also like identifying mushrooms, very irritating end to the lesson, sorry, but hopefully we've all learned some interesting stuff there. Right, you lot, that is the end of my lesson on how to classify mushrooms. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed nerding out there. Like I say, we definitely need to do a whole Lego story show about lichen, because it's amazing. So next week we're going to look at dinosaurs and mushrooms, I think. Basically kind of like how mushrooms evolved, and a bit about, I saw some weird theories about mushrooms and dinosaurs, which I wanted to share with you, frankly. I'm going to go over to my Facebook page now and see if anyone has said hello to me who was watching live. But if you're watching on catch up, thank you for watching on catch up. It's so cool that I'm like using my time to teach people now, which is awesome, and how I love spending my time. But if you're watching on catch up, you're like using this bit of my life again, which is so awesome. Like, when does that happen? I don't know, like you'd have to write a book or something, wouldn't you? So anyway, very cool. Thank you for that. Okay, I'm going on my Facebook page. If you want to support me, you absolutely can. In fact, somebody has to, or I could not do this. I'd have to work in a school. So if you want to support me, how it works is everything is free, printouts free. Oh yeah, you could like this video as well. Thank you, people who've done that. That's very supportive. You could subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's the thing. But the best thing is if you give me money, you know, if you can. If you can't, that's fine, because that's the whole point of the business model. Printouts are free, lessons are free. But yeah, if you are using me as a resource and you can spare £5 a month, you can go to my coffee page, which is found in the About section here on YouTube, where you are. If you go to the About section, there's this link to this website called Coffee. Sign up, support me with £5 a month, and I will be incredibly grateful. And I will send you a little welcome pack to try and express my gratitude. So the welcome pack will have Theatre of Science magazine in it, which I always say is the best and least reliable science magazine for kids in the universe. If you support me with £6 a month at the moment, you get the mould issue of Theatre of Science magazine, which is probably more relevant to you. It's got a comic in it about how penicillin was discovered, because my husband is an illustrator, which is super helpful. And it's got a it's got a choose your own adventure, where you work in a museum, you're a mould expert in a museum, and people keep asking you questions, and whether you make the right or wrong decisions decides whether you get promoted or stuff gets set on fire. And I also, because there's this grow your own mould activity on the internet, which I really wanted to do, but you have to put it in like a plastic or a glass bottle and then chuck it away, and I didn't like that. So I bought a load of home compostable plastic bags. So I've put that in as well, so you can grow some mould in the compostable plastic bag and then bury it. So yeah, if you want to support me, if you support me with £6 a month, you'll get this one. But if you want to support me with £5 a month, this is available to buy. I've made it like cost price in my shop for my supporters. So you can get it from there if you want. Or if you support me with £6 a month, you just get that in the welcome pack. Right. Robin! I can't do excited voice because my throat is wrecked. We've been away, so missed being live. Oh, you've been watching on catch up. No way, that's nice to know. Hello, Robin and Hissy. Hissy is Robin's flammable snake. Kings play cards on furry gorillas' stomachs. Nice, nice. Even an apostrophe in gorillas in the right place. Impressive. Oh, what? Robin, you find lots of scarlet elf cups in the woods near you. Are you kidding me? That's amazing. Oh, I'm so jealous. What? Oh, Bella is going mushroom and fungi hunting tomorrow with no way! With fellow Science Alliance members, Emily and Gracie. Amazing. You are hopefully going to find some fly agaric. Oh yeah, hopefully. I'm so into mushroom hunting now. I think I'm getting more exercise since we started doing this module, because I can't stop walking around trying to find mushrooms. Yeah, I found my first bolette the other day. I'm so excited. Really excited. Oh, hello, Jessica. Here is a frilly looking mushroom that Jessica found growing in our driveway after some rain. Oh, that's a nice one. Wow, that is very umbrella shaped. My son's is King Peter could only fart golden spoons. King Peter could only fart golden spoons. Yes. Hello, Arthur. You've seen a load of scarlet elf caps as well. Are you kidding me? I don't know why it's more interesting looking at your photo than it is looking at just another photo on the internet. But it is. Whoa! What? As if you saw those. I'm going to show them. Oh my days. Oh, look at all that moss as well. That looks like such a healthy part of the planet. God, they are stunning. All right. Okay, there's me saying scarlet elf cups are really rare, and you're all like, no, they're not. Fine. Maybe I need to look more closely. Whoa, Bella. And Bella's mum, who like literally just does the lessons alongside you. I didn't realise that. Bella, I've been very rude, haven't I? Only talking to you. Here's your mum slogging away. Went for a walk the other day and saw all of those mushrooms. That's ridiculous. Also, you said bring lichen. Mum, no way! Your mum just collected a load of lichen, not even knowing that we needed it for the lesson. That's so funny. Oh, you've got a phone microscope, but it's not working. Okay. Hello, John and Seamus. Hello. Look at our Rasula spore print. And we found an earth ball. Oh, you did. I've never seen an earth ball open like that. Wow. Did you write the word Rasula with the spores? That looks great. Oh my days, look at that. Come on. Oh, what's the name for that? Oh no, is it? I was thinking that was one of those frilly caps, but maybe it's just been eaten. Oh no, what was it called? Scalloped, wasn't it? That is lovely. I saw actually a lot of advice was if you really want to know the colour of the spores as well, obviously they're white, but some of the salmony ones, you've got to like scrape them together. And look at that earth ball. Wow. Wow. That is amazing. And they're spores. That is sort of weirdly gross and cool. Okay, anyway. Thank you for that. Whoa! Bella's mum has done some kind of epic collage. Whoa. How many of these do you recognise? Look at that. So, wow. I don't know what any of those are, but they're very cool. I feel like I should. That's not. No, I was going to say like it looks a little bit like Amanita pantherina, doesn't it? But I don't think it is because it's the. Well, yeah, no. The cap's a bit ovate, isn't it? Whoa, so shiny. So shiny and puffy. Honestly, how have I never been interested in mushrooms until this module? I can't get enough of them now. Scarlet elf caps, click those away out of jealousy. Whoa, Arthur! Arthur's got a pump shroom. That's not actually, that's your name for it. That can't be what they actually called it. Oh, please tell me that is an actual pump shroom. Guys, look at this pump shroom. That's brilliant. Ah, you need to draw a face on it, please, and put some little white dots on it. That's great. A pump shroom. Pump shroom isn't a thing, right? I'm looking it up. Have you made up the word pump shroom? I'm so impressed with you if you have. Whoa, I think that might be a Google whack. Is that what they call it? Whoa! Arthur, you have just made up the word pump shroom. Have I spelled it correctly? Guys, we were all here. Pump shroom. Is it called a Google whack? When it's a word that, look. That's got to be very, very, very unusual. Right? I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? That Google's just like, nope, it doesn't exist. Arthur, quickly, get pumpshroom.com, invent pump shrooms. You'd be the only person on that bit of the internet. Wait, is that a good thing? I don't know. I don't know anything about business. That's so good. Anyway, right, let's move on. Hello, Arthur and Abba. I did have a nice birthday, thank you. I found my first bullet on my birthday, which only you appreciate how cool that is. Hello, Holly and Sky. Ooh, are they fly agarics? Holly and Sky, who I have met in the real life. Whoa, that's a lot of fly agarics. I can't remember its real name. Amanita That's so many. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Look at it. It's been providing food for something that has a more robust digestive system than humans. God, I would be so excited to find all those. Oh, you're making me want to go for a walk. But I can't. I've got to do a Lego story show in 35 minutes about skates and rays and sharks. Fantastic lesson. You like? No way, Benjamin, you've just started studying Latin. Oh, I'm so jealous, you know. It took me ages to realise that Latin is still really useful, especially if you want to do, not only if you want to do science, right? Like for understanding Shakespeare plays, it's just useful for everything. Hello, Dara and Rose. They wanted to tell you that they heard a cheetah meow at a wildlife park. God, I love you, Science Lines. It's just all come together. You heard a cheetah meow. So is a cheetah in the same family as a house cat? There's only one way to find out. What family is cheetah in? Yeah, it is. Look at that. That's so good that you knew that, because it can meow. I don't know if that's the definition of all the things that are in Felidae that they can meow. But that is super cool. I think cheetahs, I think I read, I can't remember, I'm trying to remember from our big cat show, but it was ages ago. I feel like cats like have to make an evolutionary choice between purring and roaring. I don't think anything can purr and roar, but I might be making that up. Because I feel like tigers can purr, but maybe, I don't know, I'm just making it up. But I don't know if cheetahs can purr. You heard a cheetah meow. That's so awesome. It's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. Oh, hello, Joe. All right, hello to you. Hello, Marley and Hazel. Hello. Sorry, it took me ages to get to you. You can't believe how many pictures of mushrooms you've had to see before I just go, hiya, Marley and Hazel. Hiya, Joe. Hello, Imogen and Ophelia. Happy Science Day. King Pete can only find gold and silver. I live in Catalonia, and in Catalan, mushrooms are called boletes. Oh, so confusing. No, I can't handle that. Chloe, stop it. Arthur made it up. Arthur, the pump shroom. Quick, because I've just told loads of people about it. Quick. I don't know. It's pumpshroom.com. Seriously. Hello, Jay and Daisy and Daniel. Happy Science Day, you three. Whoa, no way. Orla found a mushroom while looking for lichen. Ah, I love it. Tuning in from our holiday. No way, that's so cool. Orla and Anya have on a Theatre of Science this morning rather than heading out to explore York. Are you kidding me? You're in York. I'm in York. I'm in quite a boring bit of York. You wouldn't want to come to my bit. Oh yeah, go out and explore York. York is so awesome and it's a beautiful day. Ah, that's so nice that you're in my bit. That's a brilliant photo. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, that was so disgusting. I'm not going to show everyone that photo of you because you've put it on Facebook and you might not want me to move your face over to YouTube, but that is a brilliant photo of you being like, accidental mushroom. Hello, Magnus. Aya, thanks for the little picture of Flyer Garrick. Hello, Aurelia. Hello to you. Hello, Lewis in Portugal. Hello. All right, Fun Gus is here. Fun Gus is back. Back from holiday with homemade friends to Blackpool and family holiday in wildest Wales. Oh, that's nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to do a Welsh accent there. Oh, that's nice. That wasn't a Welsh accent at all. I've been listening to the Silly History Boys' amazing history podcast, and there's a sort of Welsh chap on that who does just crowbars in a lot of Welsh characters. So sometimes I copy his accent by accident. We found this beauty in April growing on an old fuchsia bush. Oh, what's that? You're all caught up. Oh, that's very nice, Fungus. What is that? Oh, Darren Rose, look at that beast. A magnificent bolete. Is that your... Oh, is that a very rare Theatre of Science badge then from when I was doing badges? It is. Look at the size of that. Blimey, that is a stunner. Wow. Oh yeah, that's... Oh, yeah. The company who I got my badges from stopped making badges, so if you've got a badge, then you've got one. Because yeah, they don't. I can't make them anymore. I've still got that pump shroom tab open because I'm so impressed. Oh wow, that is beautiful. Look at that. Is that a jelly ear? Is it a jelly ear? I can't tell if that is a jelly ear or not. It's not well, I can't tell if it's growing down. It does look very similar. It is very beautiful. On a fuchsia. Right, I'd better go because I've got to set up my Lego story show. Right, Chloe, as I talk, you are making clay mushrooms. Oh, you're so creative, you lot. Hello, Shuki and Alza and Eunice and Salomon Musa. Oh my days, you're coming to see my Shakespeare play in 2 weeks. Do you know how worried I am? You remember last time you saw me in a Shakespeare play? Couldn't blooming speak, could I? It's not looking good. Oh, hello. What is that? You reckon it's an amethyst deceiver? Yeah. Oh, yeah, those little purple ones. I can't remember the two names. There's the amethyst deceiver, which is grey gills, isn't it? And there's the other one. There's two little purple mushrooms. I think that's got purple gills. Was that not the other one? I can't remember. I'd have to look at my PowerPoint again. Whoa, it's lovely though. Wow, it's really cool. Right, I'd better go, hadn't I? I better go. As joyful as it is to chat to you, but I had better go. But I'd also better refresh the place to see if there's any new comments, because I know it must be really annoying when you're typing away in the comments and then I go. Oh yeah, look, here's some more. You can always chat amongst yourselves in the comments while I go and set up the Lego Story Show. Let's have a look. If I click newest, sometimes Facebook doesn't show me them all. There's Fungus back from holiday. Caught up on the recordings. You think it's jelly ear too? Okay, good. I'll take that. You've got a game. Oh, look at that. No way, Sebastian. And Humphrey, I love that game. You have got me an actual present of a game, haven't you? Which is extremely cool. So I know that you have excellent taste in games. Wow, that is a beautiful looking game. Look, there's a surprising amount of Fungi board games out there, actually. It's just very pretty. Is that a chanterelle? Anyway, I'll have to keep an eye out for Fungi board games. Help me to learn about funguses. Funguses? Help me to learn about funguses. Marley and Hazel went to a porcini mushroom festival in Italy last month. Oh, what? Ha! Come on, you guys get up to some stuff, don't you? Oh, look at all these! Porcini Mushroom Festival. Wow. Now, that is a thing. Ugh. Look at the size of that. God, what a brilliant thing to do. There's Darwin Rose talking about the cheetah meowing. We realise this isn't mushroom related. Oh, come on, it's theatre of science, isn't it? It all works. It's all part of being on planet Earth. Okay, I'd better go. Oh, Lily and Max, you love them, especially the Choose Your Own Adventure. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's nice. Oh, thank you for that picture of mushroom. Right, okay. Whoa, Kaya, it was your birthday yesterday. And you did some more mushroom spore prints, and they turned out really good. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. I'm a bit addicted to taking mushroom spore prints. Oh, happy birthday for yesterday. Very happy birthday. Hope you had a good one. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm so sorry if I haven't seen your message. Yeah, Facebook seems to be a little bit weird about how it just kind of chooses random messages to hide. But you can always message me if I didn't see it, and I will say hello. I'm gonna go drink some hot water, set up the Lego Story Show, because we're doing skates versus rays versus sharks in 25 minutes here on YouTube. So I'll see some of you then, or I'll see you next week for another bunch of lessons. Thank you so much for support, you lot, and all your awesome comments and amazing photos and made up words. Bye!